So is this super cheap mechanical gaming keyboard actually any good? Well, I've been using it for the past 2 weeks now, and I've got to say that yes, it is incredibly good value. It has blown me away with its features and quality, and overall I can definitely recommend it. Hey guys, welcome back to another video from ChinaTech, and I bought this super cheap mechanical gaming keyboard for only about 25 bucks on Aliexpress, almost as a bit of a joke, just to see what you can actually get. But honestly, as with most things from Aliexpress, I was just blown away by the quality that you can get for such a cheap price. As I said, I've been using this now for a few weeks, and I'm really impressed with the quality of this keyboard, so much so that I've actually decided to keep using it as my primary keyboard. And so instead of just uploading, a quick unboxing of it, I actually wanted to take the time just to actually go over some of my favorite things about this keyboard and the things I've noticed using it for the last few weeks. I did actually record as well a full unboxing of this, so I'll just, have that playing now. But honestly, I think there is a lot of good stuff going on with this keyboard. It ticks all the main boxes you're after. There are a few drawbacks though, which I'll go into. But first, I'd actually just like to talk about the good things that I've noticed on this keyboard. So first of all, of course, the super cheap price of this keyboard was a massive plus. At about 25 bucks, this is by far one of the cheapest mechanical keyboards I've ever seen. But as you can see, if I pull off a keycap, this keyboard does have mechanical MX blue switches. They're not cherry MX, but they are, I can't actually pronounce them, I'll have it up on the screen. They're a different manufacturer. Overall, they feel fine. I have noticed, they're a little bit inconsistent. So for instance, you can just tell if you just tap along that maybe the E key is a little bit easier to press than say this W key. This feels a little bit heavier. This feels a little bit lighter. And what that says is just, maybe the quality of these mechanical switches is just slightly lower than those of genuine cherry switches. But frankly, for 25 bucks, I'm not really complaining. The fact that you can get mechanical switches at all is extremely impressive. And honestly, while you're using the keyboard, you can't even notice. It's just that when you start looking for that, you can feel it a little bit. But on the whole, I honestly don't think it's a big deal at all. So those mechanical switches are obviously the biggest plus of this keyboard. Most people probably wouldn't pick blues as their first choice for gaming, but frankly, blues are by far my favorite switch, which is why I like this so much. Linear red switches are ones that are probably recommended the most for gaming. Personally, I hate those. I find it so hard to type on, and it really doesn't make much of a difference while you're playing games at all, I find. There are a few versions though of this keyboard that you can choose from. I obviously chose the blue switch variant, but you can also get ones with red switches as well if you would like that full gaming keyboard experience. And of course, the other main standout feature of this keyboard is the backlighting. As you can see, it's fully backlit. We have red, blue, purple, green. This is actually white backlighting. It's a bit hard to see, and orange up the top. So every key is fully backlit, which is really nice on such a cheap keyboard. Now, the only thing is you can't actually change the colors of the backlighting. So this row will only ever light up red, this row will only ever light up blue, and so on and so forth. And that is a bit of a shame. Honestly, for such a cheap keyboard, I'm really not surprised. The fact that you can get backlighting at all is pretty impressive. And I think it does sort of make up for the fact that you can't change the backlighting colors with all the different backlighting modes it has. So you can see if I press function and this one up here, we can actually toggle through a whole lot of different backlighting modes. So you can see it has a few pretty cool ones, I'd say. Sort of scrolling, fading, just this sort of cool stuff. Whether you'd actually use these or not, I don't know. You can actually change the speed as well using this. It has many modes, and back to the start. So it is a bit annoying that you can't change the colors of each individual key, but that is definitely a more premium feature. And yeah, honestly, the fact that it's backlit at all is really impressive. And the fact that it has so many modes, so many different ways to actually control the keyboard, control the backlighting, overall, that is a massive plus for me. And really the final thing is it's actually just nice to use this keyboard. Some keyboards, they can look really cool, like say my Plank. It looks pretty cool. It is a bit of a pain to use though. This keyboard, it ticks all the boxes, and it's actually pretty nice to type on as well. So I'll give you a quick typing test. So overall, it sounds pretty good, and actually typing on it is a pleasure. The keycaps that it came with are slightly sculpted, if you can see, just to make it nice to actually use. And overall, as I said before, I'm really just blown away with the quality from this keyboard. And the fact that you can get something this good for only 25 bucks really makes you wonder why you would even bother spending 80, 90, over $100 on a premium mechanical keyboard when something this cheap can actually do an incredible job. Of course, there are reasons why you would want to buy more expensive keyboards, and this keyboard is not perfect either. So let's just quickly go over some of the downsides of this keyboard. For one, I really am not a fan of the keycaps on this keyboard, specifically the actual sort of font they've used. Maybe you don't mind, but I hate it. It really annoys me. Some of them are actually quite hard to read. You can see the "at" on the 2 is like cut off, which I think is quite strange. Even the hash there, overall, a little bit strange, and I'm not a fan. It would have been nice if they could have used, a more readable font, but on the whole, it's not that big of a deal. You can get used to it pretty quickly. And if you can touch type, then you might not even be looking at them anyway, but that is something to note. Of course, you can just buy a cheap set of keycaps and swap them out. It would be nice if they included a bit of a nicer set straight out of the box. As I've said before, it does annoy me a bit that the colors of the backlighting are fixed, that you can't change them. Also, there is no replaceable cable, so you can see up here, the cable's just mounted straight into the housing, so if you actually damage it, then you'll have to obviously buy a new keyboard, as opposed to just having a little port where you could plug in and unplug a cable, so you won't be able to replace it if it does break. The actual design of the keyboard is pretty nice. I like how they sort of have the keys sticking straight out of the backplate. You can see the actual switches. I really like that, and it actually makes it pretty easy to clean out as well. Instead of having, gunk getting lodged in, you can just sort of blow it all out, which is actually really handy and quite a nice design. The materials though, on the back, it's just a big plastic slab, which does feel, quite cheap, quite plasticky. It does have some adjustment feet. You can see you can lift it up just one level, but those are very plasticky feeling as well, quite cheap overall. The keyboard doesn't have much flex, so you can see if I try to bend, it is quite solid, but on the whole, it does not feel the most premium. It does have quite a cheap feeling. Honestly though, I would not let any of those downsides turn you off this keyboard. As I've been saying, it has blown me away with its quality. So if you are just looking for a cheap mechanical keyboard, whether you've already got a few, or you're actually just looking for your very first, this is one that I can definitely recommend. In fact, it's probably one of the best things we've looked at on this channel. It is a very high quality product for such a cheap price. So as always, I'll have a link to it in the video description. Make sure to check that out if you want some more information, or even to pick one up for yourself. Also, while you're there, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe down below. And if you would like to get notified of this channel's new videos, make sure to hit that bell as well. Make sure to leave some comments down below with your thoughts on this mechanical keyboard. Apart from that though, thank you for watching another video from ChinaTech, and I'll catch you in the next video.